The taiga covers most of Canada, Alaska, the upper United States, Scandinavia, and Russia. The taiga is home to about 1/3 of all the Earth's trees and has a greater number of trees than all of the world's rainforests combined. The taiga refreshes the atmosphere of the entire planet and is characterized by its wide array of coniferous trees, which include fir, cedar, hemlock, and yew. There are many abiotic factors of the taiga. Because of the high latitude, the sun does not rise much higher than the horizon. Therefore, a low amount of solar energy is received. Additionally, the soil is young and lacks nutrients. The taiga's climate is very cold and dry except for the seasonal snowfall and small amounts of rain. Average yearly temperatures lie between -5 and 5 degrees Celsius. Forest fires are essential to the taiga's ecosystem. Although excess fires damage the forest and the biodiversity it contains, occasional fires, every 20 to 200 years, are extremely important. The fire helps rid the forest of dead organisms and allows new space for new plants and animals to inhabit. Moreover, certain tree seeds will not germinate unless there is a forest fire. The taiga is home to a wide array of animals, ranging from large carnivorous mammals to various bird and bat species. There are also over 130 species of fish and 32,000 species of insects. However, carnivorous animals have a disadvantage due to large amount of energy loss between trophic levels. The animal and plant species of the taiga have adapted to cold temperatures and small amounts of precipitation. The main threats to the taiga biome have steadily increased in recent years. Industrial logging is a threat to tree survival and biodiversity, as well as to habitats essential to the native plants and animals. Additionally, the threat of invasive species, most notably insects, can harm the natural habitats of local animals. Foxes have sharp claws that they use to dig their dens and help them bury their food. Their claws also help them kill their prey. By having sharp teeth, foxes are also able to shred and tear apart their food, both meat and plants. Foxes eat voles, lemmings, hares, ground squirrels, birds, bird eggs, shellfish, sea urchins and other shore animals, fruits, berries, and have been known to scavenge for dead seals, whales, and dead fish. Foxes have long legs, allowing them to run quickly and catch their prey. Their thick fur coats makes foxes look much larger than they actually are. When the snow starts to melt, the fox sheds its winter coat for a thinner grayish-brown coat. Near the end of the summer, the Arctic fox begins to regrow a thicker coat. The color of the fur turns gray and then white. Thick hair on the pads of their feet protect its feet from freezing and helps the fox walk on ice without slipping. Foxes use ice floe to travel in search of food in the winter. They can curl up in the snow and cover their nose and face with their bushy tail to keep warm. The main predators are polar bears, whom they occasionally will follow for leftovers, and fur trappers. Bats in the taiga primarily feed on insects, including moss and gnats. A single bat may consume up to 3,000 insects in one night. Because they do not have to travel long distances to find food, most bats are small, as they need to be agile enough to easily navigate between trees. They are rapid and agile flyers, usually flying between 5 and 10 meters off the ground. They have small, sharp teeth that help them tear apart insects. Bats have a coat of hair that keeps them warm, and they hibernate during the coldest winter months. Fir trees are a genus of evergreen conifers found throughout the entire taiga. Firs provide a natural habitat for many mammals within the taiga. They provide food for moose and squirrels, and are also used for shelter by moose, rabbits, and deer. The average fir tree reaches heights between 10 and 80 meters tall, and has a diameter between 1/2 and 4 meters wide. Firs have needle-like leaves that are flat, flexible, and wax-coated to retain their moisture. The leaves are mostly dark green. Fir trees also have cones that release fir seeds. The cones are light brown when mature and often resinous. The cones fall to the ground and then disintegrate, which releases the seeds to the soil. Throughout the spring and early summer of 2010, Russia experienced record high temperatures and a severe drought throughout the entire country. On June 12th, Russia experienced a record high temperature of 96 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly 10 degrees higher than average. Some areas of the taiga experienced temperatures between 100 and 104 degrees Fahrenheit. On July 29th, peat fires began to spread across central and western Russia, causing significant loss of property and an unverified amount of human casualties. According to spectrometric data received from NASA, the smoke from the fires in some places rose to a height of about 12 kilometers and ended up in the stratosphere, which usually only occurs during volcanic eruptions. Satellite imagery also showed that a cloud of smoke nearly 2,000 miles wide covered western Russia, including Moscow and St. Petersburg. The result of the fire was the destruction of around 4,000 square miles of land, which is about twice the size of the state of Delaware, and cost the Russian government upwards of $15 billion. Even scarier was the fact that the fires were raging in radioactive polluted areas near Bryansk, which is still heavily contaminated due to the Chernobyl disaster of 1986.
Ёбаный в рот!
Твою ж мать!
Это уже здесь загорелось?
Это уже жесть.
Давай, назад, наверное, блядь. Сейчас какое-нибудь дерево ёбнется, блядь.
Дорога горит? Нет?
Нет. Да дорога, блядь, асфальт как-то горит.
Охренеть здесь.
Бля, я хуя, я не знаю, куда ехать.
Вот, давай, сейчас выйдем.
Я
Блядь, не выйдем, стой. Стой. Блядь, стой. Обратно нахуй.
Да там машина обратно, блядь.
Вперед!
Ты снимаешь на видео? Нет?
Да, как бы снимаю.
Тихо.
Бля.
Охренеть.
When a calamity strikes a habitat, a species can either evolve to their new surroundings, move to a new area, or die off. Since a significant portion of natural habitat and protective wildlife areas were destroyed by the wildfires, the fox and bat will be forced to move to an entirely new area for survival because adaptations take millions of years to take effect. Due to the circumstances provided, the only logical place for these two species to migrate is south. North and east are both cold, desolate, and barren landscapes without a lot of biodiversity. The west is already populated by humans and would therefore not support this migration. Therefore, the only migration that these species could make would be to move south to a warmer, more biodiverse environment. After the fire, the fox will move south of the Russian taiga and adapt to its new, southern, warmer setting. First and foremost, its standard, thick coat that it used to keep warm during the cold winter months will no longer be needed due to the warmer temperatures. The fox's fur coat will now be grayish-brown and thin throughout the entire year. Furthermore, the fox's body frame will be larger. Because the fox does not have to be small to keep in body heat, the fox will have longer legs, tails, and ears. Similar to the bat, the fox will be able to eat a larger variety of food due to the larger biodiversity of life in the warmer climate. Therefore, the fox's teeth will become larger and sharper as a result. In the aftermath of a forest fire, the bat's food supply would be eliminated, which would force the bat to move in search of food. The bats would suffer long-term losses of habitat and foraging areas. The bats of the taiga would migrate south because of a greater amount of biodiversity and food supply, rather than going north to the mostly barren Arctic tundra. Therefore, the bats that would survive would be the larger species of bats, because the smaller species, used to flying short distances at low altitudes, would not be able to make the complete migration. The larger species would have longer wings and stronger bodies to allow them to make it all the way south to the coniferous and seasonal forest zones. The hair of the bats would get thinner as temperatures get warmer, and its body fat will also decrease. The bats will likely become longer and leaner. The teeth will also increase in size to accommodate the new food supply that is now available. Many coniferous trees will be burned down immediately after the fire, causing a temporary decrease in fir tree population in the short term. This would, in turn, affect the local fauna due to the destruction of various natural habitats. However, due to the fir tree's adaptations in the taiga, fires can actually act as a natural cleansing for the boreal forest, and the fir tree's cones will react and grow well in the newly cleansed soil. This adaptation was meant to occur as a population control due to fires caused by natural means. In addition, one could speculate that due to a temporary decrease in population, fir trees would grow in height and circumference as a result of increased space, due to decreased competition for space between individual firs. Obviously, the regrowth of fir trees would take years to complete, so the ecosystem would recover very slowly, and slowly but surely life would be able to move back to the areas affected by the fires.